Hi everybody, it's Janelle here, and I'm so excited to present this project for you guys. Thank you to everybody who assisted me on this. It would not be possible without you guys, so thank you so much. So today I'm going to be focusing on my teacher preparation program that focuses on incorporating culturally responsive teaching with socio-emotional learning for pre-service teachers. Our mission statement is to really provide pre-service teachers with personal and pedagogical growth by giving them an informative model that shows them step by step how to incorporate these strategies into the classroom to promote equity, inclusion, and compassion. I want this program to be included in a university, either one that already has a teacher preparation program that would like to expand, or a university that does not have a teacher preparation program currently in place. Our target audience are college students who are looking to major in secondary education. These students will be eligible for their initial certification upon graduation. I'm also looking for college students who want to become social agents for change and provide service for students of color in high need areas. The way I will be evaluating this teacher preparation program is through the Association for Advancing Quality in Education Preparation. This is a framework that just consists of 4 standards that basically define the expectations for the teacher preparation program and the candidates who apply for them. Standard 1 builds competency in educational theories. Standard 2 focuses on that professional growth and really being in the setting and collaborating with other teachers. Standard 3 focuses on engaging teacher candidates with critical issues that they will experience in the classroom. And Standard 4 just ensures that the teacher preparation program is adhering to state and local requirements, such as New York State requirements for initial certification and professional certification. Course 1 and 2 is about understanding student backgrounds. I feel like this is the foundation of this course work entirely. If you don't understand where your students are coming from, who they are, what they're dealing with, how can you teach them? How are they going to be receptive to you and your teaching practices? So this is the core of this coursework. So here candidates are going to break down preconceived notions of their students, and they're going to form bonds with communities through student interviews and through an immersive field experience. This just gives them an idea of what a day in the life is like for their students, and what it's like to be in these high need areas, so they can stay in their neighborhood, they can go on trips, they can go on community service adventures, and just really figure out what life is like for these kids. And that will help them inform their teaching later on. The New York State standards that they will address is fingerprinting, background clearance, and they will complete their classroom observations. Course 3 and 4 is what makes an effective teacher. Here, teachers are going to really analyze the Danielson rubric and understand what the term best practice means. That term is really like a buzzword, and a lot of people say best practice, but what does that really look like in a classroom with 30-something kids? And then your assistant principal walks in. What are they looking for? I'm also going to teach them how to design curriculum using the backwards design method. Teachers are going to be expected to create a presentation that links an educational theorist to the Danielson rubric, and they're also going to create creative assessments in groups. The New York State standard that they're going to complete during this course is the Content Specialty Test. Next, we have course 5 and 6, which is best practices and lesson planning. So here, teachers are going to incorporate culturally responsive and socio-emotional project-based learning into their lessons. They're also going to have a step-by-step of how to do that. They're going to complete a literature review based on a case study by Stanford. They're also going to have to construct culturally responsive and socio-emotional lesson plans for certain target students. The New York State standards that they're going to complete are 2 trainings. The first is in child abuse and the second is in violence. Course 7, 8, and 9 focus on providing an equitable opportunity for students of color. I found a lot in my research for the literature review that students of color often are either placed in special education when they don't need to be placed there, or they're not placed in gifted and talented programs when they should be placed there. So there's a large gap in communication in school buildings, and I really wanted students to focus on that so that they know not to make those mistakes, and so that they can help students get the proper services that they need, because that's at the end of the day what our job is, to make sure students are getting the proper services and opportunities. Here they're going to understand how to use instructional strategies such as differentiation. Throughout my teaching experience, I've been so lucky to learn that you don't just differentiate for low achieving students, you should be differentiating for all of your students. Even the higher achievers should have some form of differentiation in the classroom. So they're going to write a research paper that focuses on the disparities that these students face, and they're going to have to take the lessons that they used in prior courses, and they're going to have to create a differentiated model for each lesson. During this course, students will be taking the Educating All Students examination. Course 10 focuses on building a school community of cultural acceptance and emotional well-being. This is another really huge aspect of being a teacher, creating that community in your classroom, and for administrators, it's creating that community within the building between teachers and students. This really is what drives change. This is what really changes students' lives. A lot of students we know spend so much time in school. It is their home. So we want to make sure that they feel entirely comfortable expressing their feelings and just being vulnerable with teachers and students. So here, teachers are going to learn how to create extracurricular activities and learn how to involve parents through a group work assignment. And during this course, they are going to take the Dignity for All Students training, and they're going to apply for their student teaching. Course 11 and 12 focus on the student teaching experience and also getting feedback from these teachers based on the program and their experience. So here's teachers are going to be asked to apply the best practices that we discussed throughout the program, and then they're going to actually be evaluated using the Danielson rubric. I'm asking that teachers keep a student teaching journal log just to reinforce that idea of socio-emotional learning. They're not just learning about it. I really want them to experience it, because that is what reinforces the ideology. Teachers are also going to be having evaluations, and they will create a reflection and goal-based on their observation report. The New York State standard that they're going to complete here is completing their ETPA, applying for graduation, creating a Teach account, and applying for initial certification. So the big question throughout this entire project was, how am I going to evaluate this? I had no idea about a teacher preparation program, how they were evaluated, if they were evaluated, but shout out to Professor Bradley. She gave me some awesome resources. So I found that teacher preparation programs are often evaluated based on pre-service teacher observations, satisfaction surveys from graduates, employers, and K-12 pupils. And lastly, tracking pupil growth on standardized exams. Now, I also added that I want to evaluate my teacher preparation program based on behavioral logs and daily assessments, just to kind of incorporate that social-emotional learning aspect, because if a student has grown in their behavior, I also see that as an accomplishment. It's not just about their academics. So now, how is this relevant to the world that we live in today? There are so many ways that culturally responsive and socio-emotional teaching can help move our society and help create some kind of change in our students. So I found that more than 80% of teachers and administrators are white females, and they often face a different experience than a student of color. So they are often ignorant to the realities of these students' lives, forming a large disconnect, right? Even in my own classroom experience, there were not a lot of multicultural authors that I used to read about. There were certain pieces of history that were just left out of the curriculum, and culturally responsive teaching in particular is really looking to bridge that gap, right? We need to learn about all history. We need to look at all authors in order to get a really worldly view of what's happening in our society. I found that as young as 5 years old, Black boys are seen as aggressive, violent, dangerous, or hostile. These are words that their teachers are using in order to describe them. We've also seen a large range of killings and systematic oppression of Black men and women by law enforcement in particular, which are causing the riots that are happening right now and the peaceful protests. President Trump also, his presidency has impacted us in such a huge way, especially our children. I've worked with kids who feared for their lives, feared for their families, because of the racist theory, because of the sexism and the stereotypes. So what we need to do is work together in order to break down these notions and to create some kind of change. And this is my reference page, guys. Thank you so much. You guys made it. I'm so proud of you. We did it, and I hope you guys and your family are safe. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.